All right, so we have forked and cloned this repository. Congratulations. That's amazing. That's a really hard step, and we did it. And now we have a development environment, and we're using Visual Studio Code as our IDE to kind of mess around and play with our code. So I'm going to make an edit. I'm going to change this back to the original instructions where I said change me, add your name. And then I'm going to change this back to change me condition 1. You know what? We're going to just copy and paste it because it's easier. And change this to 1. Okay, and now we're going to save it. So we're just going to do File and Save. So we have our files for our project right here under this Explorer tab. But if we want to see what changes we've made, we go to this Source Control button right here. So when we click on the change, it gives you this double-sided screen, and one of them is what we took out of the original file, like an example of the original file. And then the right side has those green highlighted areas that are the changes that were made. So we changed line 9, we brought it back to the original instructions, we changed line 12 and 11 and 6, and now we feel good about this and we want to add it to the stage. So if we want to add it to the stage area, have Git, recognize it, we're going to hit this plus button, boop, and now it's on the stage. So if we talked about like the stick figure, if we wanted to, make some changes and put a hat on the stick figure, we got to make sure that we put that new stick figure with the hat that we made on stage so it can flaunt its new style. So now that we're flaunting this new style of this code template on stage, we have to commit that to our local repository. So we just added, and I'll do it one more time. You can always revert back if you want to take it off the stage and make it just in your, working directory. That's fine. So we want to add it. So we're just going to click this button. Here's the change. We can look at the change. We're going to click this add button. Now it's add to the staging area. Next thing we want to do is we want to commit. So if we want to commit this, this is where we can go and travel back to our GitHub desktop. And look, you can see the changes that were made. Isn't that awesome? It's super easy to use. It's all the stuff we just saw in Visual Studio Code, but instead it's on our GitHub desktop. So now we can type in a description, which I changed code template to original instructions. So that's our commit message. And then we can hit this button called commit to main. Once we've committed, we need to take what's in our local repository and push it out into the remote repository. Push. You click that button. Everything looks fine, but how do you know? How can you just do your due diligence and be sure that you've pushed that to your local or your remote repository? Well, we can just open the repository page on GitHub in our browser by clicking this button right here. What? This is the teacher Taylor one, but we actually want to take a look at our student repository. So you would go to your little icon, hit your repositories, and you can click on your arcade repository, and you can see that the changes went through. So if we want to click on that file, looks like everything's back to normal. We have the name right there, line 6 has changed, and you can see that like 9 through 13 look the same. You can also do really cool things where you can look at different commits, and you click on each commit and it shows you like what was changed at a certain time. So that's how you time travel in Git. We're not going to worry about that too much. I just want to show you that you can do that, but let's go back to our repository. So now you're in your name/arcade. So we want to make a pull request. That's what we're going to do in the next video. So in this video, we added our changes to the staging area, we committed those changes to the local repository, and we pushed those changes up from our local repository to our remote repository, which is here on GitHub.